During the course of my research, I stumbled upon this bibliography containing about 286 scholarly investigations dating from 1979 to 2012. And what they were mainly investigating was women versus men violence. Now, I would only put up about 4 of these studies for you to see because of time constraints, and I will advise that for those that are interested, you can actually check for the link in the description section of my YouTube video. Findings revealed that 54.6% of men versus 74% of women indicated that they would respond aggressively if their partners provoke them verbally. And 51% of men and 76% of women revealed that they would respond aggressively if their partner physically provoked them. In this study, 55% of women had non-violent partners and 50% of men had non-violent partners. In the second study, 73% of women had non-violent partners and 58% of men had non-violent partners. Another study from Botswana found no significant differences between men and women with regards to physical perpetration of partner violence. Final study, which was done in Canada, found out that the overall violence index for men in America was about 10.6 and in Canada it was 18.3, while the overall violence index for women in America was 12.2 and in Canada it was 25.3. I would like you to listen to what Dr. Tonia, an expert in intimate partner violence, what she had to say about all this.
Most of you are probably very familiar with the story of Hans Christian Andersen and the notion of the emperor who was duped by the weavers. So essentially, 2 con artists convict a vain emperor, convince him that they are providing him with the very finest cloth. And he marches through town then, essentially in his birthday suit. So he probably looks quite ridiculous, but the weavers have convinced the emperor and everyone in town that you can't see the cloth if you've risen above where you should be in life, in your station in life. So essentially, you're stupid, you're ridiculous if you can't see that fine suit that he's wearing, right? So they're using bullying, condescension, essentially to convince people of their way of thinking. It took a small child, actually, in the story, the way that it goes, it's a small child who says the emperor is walking through town with only his underwear on. But I think there's a lot of parallels between that story and what's really evolved in the intimate partner violence field and public policies around this issue. A lot of similar pressures and tactics, if you will, have been used to brush the research, if you will, under the rug, to ignore, deny, to blame, to name call. And here we have some of the pioneers in the field.
So the conclusion here is that violence has no gender, violence has no race. It depends on the individual. Violence can be perpetrated by a woman and it can also be perpetrated by a man. So we need to stop this narrative that only men can be violent. Now, I'm not saying, or I'm not trying to belittle women that have been abused in their relationships. All I'm trying to say is we should be able to have civil discussions and be able to understand that violence can go either way. Sweden has claimed itself to be the first feminist government in the world. And if you look at statistics, the level of gender equality in Sweden is actually very high. So I would like to show a video of a family raising 2 boys. But before we go to the video, I would just like to point out that Sweden is trying to raise their children to be gender neutral. That is, they don't use pronouns like in or are. Instead, they use the genderless pronoun called N, H-E-N, like N for chicken. So instead of the teachers addressing the kids by him or her, they just call them by this genderless pronoun. Now, the video I'm about to show you shows a family raising two boys as gender neutral. But what you will actually find out in the video is that these boys are actually being raised as girls. And another thing is that you will find out that there is no man within the family. You would actually see a woman who, I don't know, has beards, and she happens to be, I don't know whether she's the father or the mother of the kids. But I'd like you to watch this.
Förra somras så kom det liksom jättemånga barn och liksom bara sa till mig, är du kille eller tjej, är du kille eller tjej? Så svarade liksom ingenting. Sen så svarade jag att jag var båda.
Sweden is the most forward-thinking country in the world when it comes to questioning gender. The gender-neutral pronoun hen is now commonly used by most Swedes, and government-funded gender-neutral kindergartens often spark controversy in the foreign press. With recent victories for the trans rights movement and more young people defining something other than male and female than ever before, I'm curious to find out what it's like to grow up without the gender binary.
Hello, Amelia, nice to meet you. How are you?
This is Nico.
Hello.
This is Margareta, and
nice
this
to meet
is
you.
Mika.
What does this say?
Det här är supermjuka hjältar. Vad säger jag? Ja, men superhjältar, de kan vara som vanliga människor. Spiderman måste också gå på toaletten.
Batman dansar balett.
Med lilla bebisen.
So these pictures are basically breaking down the boundaries of different stereotypes. This is like a soft father figure we're seeing.
Precis. Och tvärtom då?
Sleeping Beauty says no.
Ja.
Lesbian mom.
Did you notice that the females in the comics book were actually okay, but the males in the books were actually being feminized? Anyway, moving on. The last group of people I would like to talk about are called MGTOW. That stands for men going their own way. These are men that believe that they need to preserve and protect their own sovereignty. These are men that believe that they don't want to have any interaction with any woman. These are also men that believe that there is no need in actually getting married, and they are not actually interested in raising any kid. They believe that getting attached to a woman could mean financial or social suicide for men. And from my research about them, I got to find out that a lot of them have actually been hurt from their previous relationships, and there is a lot of bitterness in the movement. And the funniest thing about it is that a lot of things, as a lot of young boys are actually getting involved in this movement, and this movement is really, really spreading across the Western world. Within the MGTOW, there are actually different types of men. Some of them are men who actually have misogynistic views, such as women are not human, women are wicked, and all that. And then we have a small number of involuntary celibates, and a small number of outspoken bachelors, a small number of public figures that speak their mind, and a silent majority of men who don't actually even talk about being MGTOW, but they are actually being MGTOW. So what these men actually believe in is that that one needs to do a risk-reward analysis when one wants to settle down with a woman, because in the Western world, the men over there believe that everything about the law is in favor of the woman, and they know that women can actually, wake up in the morning and decide to end the marriage and take half of his wealth away, and tie him down on child support for about 18 to 26 years, and there is nothing he can do about it. Now, some of us might look at it that these men are actually weak men, or that they cannot actually think straight, or they should man up, or or whatever we think. But one needs to understand the angle that they are coming from. They are coming from a place of bitterness. And personally, I'm not in support of this MGTOW idea, but I'm just trying to educate us that a group like this actually exists. So, in conclusion, I would like to share my own opinion about this whole topic. So, if we look at family values in the Western world, we'll see that family values has actually depreciated. We have a lot of single mothers over there and a lot of missing fathers. a lot of black men are incarcerated. Almost about 93% of them are incarcerated, leaving women to take care of child rearing. And the role that a father plays in the life of a child is very important. It cannot be overemphasized. So when some people believe that feminism does not speak for equality of all sexes, well, in a way, I tend to agree because modern day feminism is a lot more about man bashing. We see it all over the social media. We see, comments which I feel will not drive any reasonable discussion. And if you ask a lot of people, they are all for equality for both sexes. And I've talked about this before in my previous video. It's titled Gender Equality. So I, as a person, I believe in equality for all genders. I believe in empowerment of women, but I don't believe in the modern day brand of feminism. And a lot of women don't actually believe in it also. Also, male victims of domestic violence are completely ignored by feminists who claim to care about domestic violence. Another thing they do is they try to shut down women who have different opinions from theirs. They try to tell them that they have internalized misogyny. I don't know what that means. And stuff about toxic masculinity. Anyway, people tend to lock up their minds when they have opinions formed, and they don't always tend to want to listen to alternative opinions that are different from theirs. But I am always open to discussion. I would like us to share different views and opinions about this topic in the comment section below. So I'd like to sign off by saying this: a strong woman does not need the victim mentality, and a real man is not afraid of a strong woman. I'd like to thank you very much for watching this episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye.